once again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to OneMore with Danny Coleman. I am Danny Coleman, and we're coming to you live from Monmouth Music right here in beautiful downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. OneMore with Danny Coleman is sponsored by Mr. Pizza Slice. There you go. Nash, we got pizza tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Pizza Slice, and also by Antoinette Boulangerie and the aforementioned Monmouth Music. If there's anything you would like to see on this program, please email me and tell me about it. One more with Danny Coleman. Email me at dcoleman.drice, D-R-I-C-E, dcoleman.drice @gmail.com, and we'll see if we can make that happen for you. Or you can email our producer, Matt Smith, and director. And what other titles did we give him, Nash?
He's CEO.
CEO. That's right. What else did he say? I heard it.
He said Supreme Leader.
Well, Supreme Leader. Wow. That would imply that he's of the aliens, I think. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah. Or North Korea.
Or North Korea.
or the other.
Matt, he went there already.
Matt is ill. You can email him anyway at DriceProductions @gmail.com. With me tonight, I have Brian and Brent Johnson, not of the Johnson & Johnsons. We learned that last night. Yeah. But they have been kind enough to come see me again after last night they appeared on Rock on Radio. Yet they've come back for more. So, and you're not even contractually bound.
No, we just had a good time last night.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Brian and Brent Johnson, two of the members of the Clydes. Yeah.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Thanks.
Studio audience goes wild.
Yeah.
And like I did with the Rock on Fire Pit, which the views continue to climb for that. Thank you so much for all of you who tuned in to that. And Rock on Radio last night. This show is dedicated to the memory of a couple of musicians that recently passed, one of them being Santa Ray. Santa Ray was a staple in the Jersey Shore music community, a man who gave a lot of his time. He was also a musician. One of my favorite pictures of Santa Ray was to see him in front of his red Mazda Miata, the sleigh as he would call it, dressed in his unisuit pajamas with his red Santa hat and his guitar slung over his shoulders, you know. But sadly, Santa passed away suddenly this past weekend, and Santa, this one's for you too. Tonight we are here with the Johnson brothers. Like Brian Johnson. He used to be in AC/DC, actually. He's changed his look a little bit.
I get it a lot, yeah.
You ever get that? People give you a hard time?
Yeah, when I was a kid, there was this one substitute teacher who I didn't really get until like high school, where he really gave me a hard time with it. But he was a big AC/DC fan.
Was he?
Yeah, we're not that into AC/DC, but we respect it.
I'll tell you what, this kind of goes along with what we talked a little bit about last night. I caught a video online the other day of AC/DC doing Highway to Hell live at some massive festival. There's got to be 100,000 people there. And every now and then, excuse me, they would take an aerial shot, like during the chorus, and all you saw were like 100,000 bodies jumping up and down on highway. And I just thought, just once, I want to have that feeling. Just once.
Tonight is the night.
Yes.
Tonight, that's it. There's 100,000
Red Bank
people.
will be filled with people.
Will we come out? They'll all cheer for us?
They'll all cheer.
That's fantastic. I love that. Well, you guys are the Clydes.
We are.
Now. And here on the table, which I'm thinking Nash will get a shot of these later, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got their collection of CDs, including this 33 1/3 vinyl,
vinyl
which
copy
I
of
left
our
the
first
disc in
album.
my car, but because you've been graciously enough to give us the copy of the first album, which you have on vinyl.
Yeah. That's the first one and only one we made on vinyl, because vinyl's, for any musicians out there, knows, it's very expensive to make.
That's what you were saying.
So, if you to do 100, it's more than $1,000.
But at the same time, the ones we did make, they sold pretty well, because I think a lot of people who go see local music are into that type of thing. So.
Yeah, vinyl's getting a comeback.
Yeah, well, like we've discussed before, you know, anybody under the age of 30 really doesn't know what vinyl is. They didn't grow up with turntables in their house for the most part.
But now you're seeing a resurgence of vinyl's outselling CDs, and who knows? Maybe VHS will be next.
It's not
Maybe
just
a record
hip-
store.
It's not just
VHS.
hipsters anymore.
No.
Right? Maybe a record store will
Betamax.
come back. And before I get too far in, I want to say hello to everybody watching us on Long Branch Cable, Channel 20 tonight. Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we appreciate you doing that every week for us, too. So these are the Clydes, based out of New Brunswick.
Yep.
And tell the story of the name again. That was pretty
Ryan, it's all you.
Yeah, for a while we were struggling to find a name that was kind of suitable, and it was me, Brent, and Andrew, our bass player, at our house, and we're watching the Knicks game, and as always, they're awful. So we're looking for something to cheer for, and Clyde Frazier walks onto the TV wearing an all cow print white and brown suit, and we were like, yes, that's it, the Clydes.
So we went with the Clydes. And as I think I mentioned before, that it also had that kind of like the Smiths, it had like the name,
Right.
Where we like the blank type of band. It's more universal, but yeah, it was mostly Clyde Frazier.
Also, we all agreed on it, and nothing else we agree on.
Yeah.
Well, that
At
helps.
one point, it was going to be Turncoat or Electric Turncoat,
because our one friend Dave Gurney thought it was a great idea.
but nothing like
Electric
revolutionary
Warrior,
humor.
like T-Rex, but it didn't really, yeah.
And revolutionary war humor is the best. So
Well, because that's
yeah, that's what you want to have in your
that's
band
still
name.
taught in schools today.
That's rock and roll.
Yeah. Okay, so it's you two. It's Andrew
Lord Chandler, the bassist.
Lord
Chandler, and our drummer Mad Mardigan.
Mad. I noticed Mad took the night off again tonight.
Yeah, well,
And
he's-
Andrew.
He wasn't ready for it.
No.
No,
handle these
they have to
public
rest up
appearances?
for all the madness.
Exactly.
So because we have a big show in 2 weekends, September 10th in New Brunswick. So
You do, and which is why you are here.
Yeah.
Because our good friend Bob Macon.
Bob Macon, legend
uh,
of the New Brunswick music scene.
You know what the beauty of that is? I could sit here and say, our good friend, and you can't do anything about it, Bob. Because you're not here. But, yeah, he can't even dispute that.
Yeah.
But our good friend Bob Macon sent you fellas over to me, which I appreciate very much, to talk about Rock New Brunswick.
Yeah, so Rock New Brunswick's a festival being held in 2 weekends in New Brunswick, which is a great music city and a great New Jersey city. You hear so much about places like Montclair and Princeton, but New Brunswick's a really great city. To just come to hear music, to experience some college bars and some nice restaurants. But I sound like the New Brunswick Chamber of Commerce is going to thank me. But
Hey, they
not.
could be watching.
no, yeah, they're not. They don't like me at all. But it's the festival Rock New Brunswick. It's a bunch of bands playing over the weekend of September 8th through 10th, and we are playing the after party at the Scarlet Pub on Easton Avenue. About 10 o'clock, we're going to rock out at this bar that's in the college area called the Scarlet Pub, where anyone who's gone to Rutgers or visited Rutgers knows the
It's a
Scarlet
very
Pub.
Rutgers place.
Very Rutgers place.
Scarlet. Yeah.
And all four of
Because
us
the
went to
Rutgers
Rutgers.
Are the Scarlet Knight.
They are.
All four of you.
All four of us went to, at different times, but
Okay.
we all went to Rutgers.
Oh, what'd you major in?
American Studies and Journalism.
And the same thing.
Yeah.
Organized journalism.
Yeah, he just follows whatever the hell I do.
Is that what it is?
So yeah.
There's a track record of this, yes.
Do you have the same type of day job as him?
No, I'm actually a teacher up in Newark.
Ah. Ooh. Ah.
Yeah, the kids are awesome, but I teach.
That's a long drive every day, huh?
Yeah, well, it's more the Parkway. It's awful
okay.
just sitting in traffic, but no, the kids are
Yeah,
great.
either way, Parkway, Turnpike.
Yeah, and I coach volleyball up there too.
That's right. You said you were a volleyball player.
Yeah.
Did what was it you said about volleyball last
Well,
week?
Brent said it. No,
He was a
back in,
two-time state champion
That's
for the
it, state champion.
East Brunswick High School volleyball team, and our bassist was on an opposing team, South Brunswick High School, and played against him.
We
And
were
then-
kind of rivals, but at the same time, we had a love of Prince, so we kind of bond over Prince and David Bowie.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
See how music brings people together?
I know.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they beat them in the championship, and we,
Yeah.
under servitude, we made Andrew play bass.
Yeah, well,
That would have been quite a story. Though. That's a great story. If that
The
was the
thought
case.
must have entertained your
Yeah.
minds. Hey, if you're just clicking on, this is One More with Danny Coleman. I'm Danny Coleman. This is Brent and Brian of the Clydes, and they will be playing September 10th. Do you know your time slot? Or?
Yeah, I think it's about 10:30, 11. About the 10 o'clock hour at the Scarlet
evening.
Pub in New Brunswick.
Okay.
Yep.
They will be doing the after party at the Scarlet Pub along with Experiment 34.
Yeah, there's a few
and-
bands.
Great
Yeah,
local band, yeah.
It's like, I think, 4 bands. Right?
Yeah, there's 4 bands.
different bands. So, how long is your set?
Probably about 45 to an hour. Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Well, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of songs, so the longer the better.
Yeah, we always can play as long as anyone needs us. So
Okay, well, you know what, Nash? We should probably just shut down right now and let them play for the remainder of the show. What do you think? You like that? See, I'm not used to Nash being over there. Usually I just can smile at that camera and say, Nash! But now he's like taking over.
He's got a sweet name, though.
Doesn't he?
Like
now?
Nash Bridges
Got
or
the
Steve
flannel
Nash.
shirt rocking.
you know.
It's nice.
My dad's name is Steve Nash.
Is it really?
Really?
Mhm.
Can he also throw a good bounce pass? Yes.
What's he going to say? No?
maybe his dad just throws a terrible bounce pass.
Exactly.
His dad.
I couldn't throw a beach ball in the ocean. What are you talking about?
Do people do that a lot? Throw beach balls in the ocean?
Hey, they keep coming back.
That's true.
You know, it's not like you can get rid of them. They just they come back.
It's a dangerous time.
So how did the band form? How did we come across Andrew and Mad?
Well, Brian and I are brothers. I'm the older brother. He's the younger brother. So we played music since we were little. Since, we made our first band when we were like under 10 years old. It was called the Dials, but we didn't really know how to play our instruments. But I would write like songs in like a notebook. One was called Meet the Dials. That was literally a song.
And we had a drummer by the name of Spoons just because he played with
Because he played drums with spoons, which basically had him playing on pots and pans with spoons. But so eventually we were like, maybe we should learn our instruments. So Brian and I took piano and guitar lessons. And so we always wrote songs together. We had bedrooms right next to each other. We're the only two brothers in the family, the only two siblings. And so we wrote songs all throughout our teenage years. We were in another band in college. And in around 2009, 2010, we said, we should form a new band. We have all these new songs. And Andrew was one of our friends. We went through a few drummers before we landed on Mad Mardigan, who was a friend of a friend. And he came along and he brought a new energy to the band. So basically it just started out with brotherhood and bringing friends in. And Brian and I write songs all the time. We constantly write.
Some argue too much.
Yeah. We bring them to the band. They help us arrange them. And, they put their spin on things, and there you go.
Being a drummer myself, I always used to think the problem guy in the band was always the lead guitarist that sang.
Well, I don't play lead guitar. That's why I have him do it.
I don't sing.
And you don't sing, so you guys are kind of safe, But I
Yeah.
always had if there was ever a band and there was ever ego issues, it was always that guy.
Yeah.
And sorry out there, lead guitarists, but now I hear everybody I've been talking to probably over the last 6 months, 8 months. They're all complaining about the drummers. Oh, we went through like 3 drummers. We went through.
It's the hardest thing to find, though, because guitarists can learn bass. Because Andrew started as a guitarist, and learned bass for the band.
And he's actually a pretty good piano player too.
Yeah, he's a good piano player. And then the drummers are hardest to find. They seem few and far between, and they also tend to have. They're the glue that holds it together, but it also means they can have a lot of spirit. And Mad, he doesn't like to be called by. His real name. Don't ever say it. Like it's like Beetlejuice.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but except like Beetlejuice will appear and not talk to us. But yeah, he also the drummer holds down the foundation and the beat of the band. So maybe they get a little more extra rope because without them everything sounds flat.
They can also ruin your band too.
They can. Or then they become Phil Collins and just become the biggest pop star in the world.
True.
Sometimes that happens. Or Don Henley.
True. Although every drummer I know always wants to play guitar as like a secondary instrument. I don't know any drummer who
they want to be out front.
I don't know if it's that. You think it is?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think they want to do it to sit around like the campfire and get chicks.
Yeah, I guess you can't bring drums to a campfire.
No,
that'd be kind of weird. Although that would be the most unusually cool campfire in the world.
Wait. That was me when I was a kid. Actually, I have. This is a funny story. There was this park near my house, and I used to take my car there to wax it under a tree. When I was like 19, 20 years old now, and had hair. So I would always throw my guitar in the trunk. So one day I'm just sitting under the tree, and I'm just kind of. I didn't really know how to play. I knew the chord, like some basic chords, had a songbook, trying to figure it out. It wasn't like today where we just go to YouTube and say, teach me how to play Stairway to Heaven. You actually had to listen and learn.
Yeah.
So as I'm sitting there strumming, this very attractive young lady comes jogging by, and she stops and starts talking to me, right? And I'm like, whoa, it's kind of neat. So we're talking, and we talked for like an hour. And she says, do you live local? I said, yeah, I live over off of about 3 blocks that way, 5 blocks that way. She goes, really? She says, I said, you? She says, yeah, I live over there. I said, oh, where? Over on whatever the street was, across the street. And she goes, no, over there. I said, the convent? She says, yeah, I'm in the... I was like, oh.
I thought that conversation...
I tried to pick up a nun.
I thought...
That could have been interesting.
I thought it was going to end with her saying, like, oh, so you play guitar? You're like, really? I'm a drummer. And then she just walks away. She just walks... She's just like, I'm sorry. Then she tells you she's a nun.
She tells me she's a... I'm in the order of whatever they were. Our Lady of Perpetual Motion. I don't know what... But
Lady Perpetual Motion.
Did she convert you?
No. She had me looking up at the sky saying, oh, God, why? It's like, that's not supposed to be what a nun looks like. They're supposed to be like big penguins, you know? But, so that was my, after I kind of put the guitar down, I don't remember ever picking it back up.
Now some people watching want to pick it up again.
Yeah, right. So how'd the band form?
Yeah, so we go back, and so we were, the three of us were friends, Andrew, Brian, and I. We were brothers, obviously. Andrew was our friend. And then we went through a few drummers, because, again, drummers are hard to find, and they're also hard to keep. And then a friend of a friend introduced John, and we've made every record with John since... I'm saying his real name. Beetlejuice is going to appear.
Yeah.
Mad Mardigan.
I
ruined it.
2 hours last night.
I know, I didn't do it. Mad Mardigan.
This is why John wants
not
to
showing up. That's right.
Yeah, now he will definitely leave the band. So we've made these 4 records with Mad Mardigan since then. And the most recent is the one on top. It's called Lucid Garden. It's an EP of 4 songs, and we're about to release a 10-song album on our record label, Min 400 Records, in the fall, in October. It's called So the Story Goes. So that'll be our fifth release. Yep, fifth
second
disc.
on the label.
And second on the label.
Second on Mint. This one.
Yeah,
was
well,
on Mint
that
as
one's
well.
independent, but the last one right there
There's
is
one with like the
Come Back
60s
Charlie.
like cover.
This one. Okay.
So we made 2 albums for Min 400 Records. The second one's going to come out in October. Min 400 Records is a great label that really fosters anyone who's in a band and looking to be represented. Contact Min 400. They do great work for their artists.
How'd you come upon them?
We made our first full-length record, which is the one there with the octopus attacking Atlantic City on the cover. It's literally, we had
I love
an
how
artist.
the boat says Atlantic City. That's great.
We had an artist who's related to Mad Mardigan, came in, and we told him, give us some sort of cover idea, and it came up with Atlantic City being attacked by an octopus.
My students actually then looked this up, and there are some scientists out there that believe that if the human race goes down, the octopi might take over the Earth.
I like you said octopi. That was good.
Because they're very intelligent.
That they are.
So there's not really
predicting.
Yeah, exactly.
We're just
doom.
predicting the future.
So if they look back at history, this might be a beast right
You
here.
guys might have been in 500 years from now.
Nostradamus.
Everyone might hate us though.
Yeah.
Why?
But
because you predicted it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the ancient.
Yeah.
And actually, Mario and I were just talking about that before we went on air. The ancient, the ones who painted in the caves. What were they? Not the cavemen, but there was like a tribe, an Indian tribe that painted like in South America somewhere, right? Not the Incas, somebody else. But they, these predicting the future.
Well, maybe we did, but yeah. So we made that,
and you were shadow people.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
We made that record. It was called Hiding from the Summer. It's 13 songs. We made that independently, and we sent our record to a bunch of labels. Some of them showed interest, some got back, and the one we really liked was Min 400, which is based in Hawthorne, and it's run by Neil Sabatino, who's the lead singer of Fairmont, and a really great guy who fosters songwriting. He cares about songs, he cares about artistry, he directs the music videos for the label, he produces a lot of the music, and he said, I will work with you and get your music heard and make it better, and so we said sure, and now we're on record number 2 with him.
The one thing we like about him is he's not afraid to say when he doesn't like something too, which I think a lot of people in local music are afraid to do at times, but we really like that. So
yeah, it makes you better.
If we put something out, it's something he's involved with also.
Okay. Well, now, so all right. Before I get lost here, what do your websites get?
If you go to theclydesmusic.com, theclydesmusic.com, or you can go to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, iTunes, Spotify, and put in the Clydes. Again, we are the Clydes from New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Don't say it.
Not the bluegrass band from North Carolina. Just because it's confusing to people.
He hates them.
They're fine people, I'm sure, but
I don't think so.
There's another Clydes that formed after us that took the name, and they're a bluegrass band from North Carolina. So if you hear mandolin on our records, it's probably not Brian playing. We're the rock band from New Brunswick, the Clydes. So you can Google us, you can find us. So. But theclydesmusic.com is our main site.
Can we find you at Mr. Pizza Slice?
Sure.
Well, there you have it.
Pizza's good.
Because Mr. Pizza Slice is a Red Bank institution with a new vibe. That's right. For over 45 years, Steve operated Mr. Pizza Slice right here on Monmouth Street in downtown Red Bank, New Jersey. The new owners have kept 100% the original pizza, which was called Steve's Original Pie. Imagine that. Steve had a lot of influence at Mr. Pizza Slice.
Sure.
As well as the signature Italian hot dog and French fries. New additions include pizza with various toppings that can be ordered by the slice, hot and cold sandwiches, and smaller appetizer dishes. They have a lot of Steve's feeling that they kept there, along with classic video game machines and added delivery services, longer hours, and even Sunday hours. So you can come here to Red Bank and go to Mr. Pizza Slice. And I want to thank them for providing the, this is what's left of the 2 pies.
Yeah, it looks good, though.
The crew was hungry this evening, apparently. And unfortunately, usually we have pastries there from Antoinette Boulangerie, but they forgot about us tonight.
Next week.
Yeah. They forgot
Pizza's
about us.
the pastry of life. I don't know. It just sounded.
Usually when he talks too much, this is what happens.
Words to live by.
I know. Pizza is the pastry of
Pizza
life.
is the pastry of life. You know what? That could be a classic.
It should be on a T-shirt.
It should.
I disagree.
I think you should go, when you leave here, you should go right down the street to Mr. Pizza Slice and say, hey, look, I came up with this great thing.
I know.
Charge them a one-time fee of like $500.
Yeah.
All right, so now you're going to do Rock New Brunswick.
Yep.
And you have an hour-long set. Now, you do mostly originals.
Yeah, we do almost exclusively originals. I mean, Brian and I have written dozens, if not hundreds of songs. The good ones have ended up on the records. But we have a lot of new material to play. We have 4 songs off the new EP, Lucid Garden. We have 10 songs off the new album that's coming out in October. So we have plenty of material. But we throw in a cover every now and then, and some of them are good.
We try to get one in a set.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of covers do you
We do Raspberry Beret, Prince. We've done.
Yes.
We've done Dirty Diana, Michael Jackson, more of like a grunge version. We've done the Kinks.
Yeah, we do.
Well Respected
Man by the Kinks.
Okay.
Some of them have gotten terribly wrong, like Song 2 by Blur. We once tried.
That's more equipment issues, though.
Yeah, that wasn't that great.
T-Rex, Bang a Gong.
Okay.
Oh no, we've done, but we mostly do originals. I mean, we write a lot. We write a lot. So.
Okay. Well, nothing wrong with that. I'm a huge proponent of original music.
Mm-hmm.
It saddens me the amount of clubs in my area that no longer cater to original music.
It seems harder to get people to come out to original music unless they know it from being played on the radio.
Well, exactly. If people don't, people are kind of like, or what my buddy used to call them, sheeple. Because they will follow, whatever's big at the time and just keep going in that direction. Most of the time being led blindly, so to speak. But, people get their musical tastes from their radios, from their iPads, from their
YouTube.
Their phones, from YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole new different media world altogether.
Yeah.
But what bothers me is that a club owner wouldn't care what you played if you were packing a place.
Yeah, if you can get people to like your music. I mean, the biggest challenge in today's world, it's a wonderful time because anybody can make music and upload it on YouTube and get an audience for it. But the hardest thing is getting a larger audience for it, because now you're so oversaturated with the amount of music you can find online. It's hard to weed out what's really good, and it's hard to get a foothold in an audience base. But the best you can do is find creative ways to plug your music and write really good music. The thing is, if the idea of the cream rising to the top, there's a lot of truth to that, and that's true in any field.
Also, I think it's interesting that some people will spend $400 to $500 to see like someone like Beyonce, and they won't spend $5 on a local show sometimes. Right. And I'm not trying to.
Oh, that
Beyonce's
awesome,
always.
But yeah. You're right. You're 100% right. That always baffled me, how people won't. There was a club down by me that catered to original music, and there's a guy that ran it who's actually passed away right after this began to be the policy, so he really couldn't be part of it or fight it very much. But it went from free admission to they wanted a $5 cover charge, and that was for the band. So if you were a band and you wanted to play there, if you brought 5 people, you got $25.
What's cool is in Nashville, you go to a lot of these honky tonks and there's no cover, but you give tips to the band when they walk around. I think that works better.
In some
in a lot
places,
of
like
ways.
John and Peters in New Hope does that.
Same thing. I like that.
John and Peters used to give us $50 and then put that tip jar out there.
Yeah.
And they used to give you 20% off your beer tab.
It works.
But deal.
That you happen to also get lung cancer because they used to be able to smoke in there.
Well,
believe it or not, years
it's a
ago.
trade-off.
Yeah, right. It's suffering for your art.
Yeah.
And sometimes I would walk. For a 3-piece band, we would walk out of there with, $70, $80 a piece in our pocket, and other times, $50 to split between the three of us.
Yeah.
You gotta like the music you're playing. That's the number one thing. Is if you try to just cater to a certain audience or anything, you're not going to be authentic. Brian always talks about being genuine and authentic, and you really just have to write music you like and keep stretching and keep trying and experimenting. That's kind of what we do with every record. We try and write good songs and do it in different ways.
We also see a lot of local bands come out and have a certain sound and they get a following for like a year, and then they can't keep it up because I question if it's genuine sometimes. Obviously I don't know some of them, but the one thing with us is we write it and we like it, the music we make, and we want to continue to do it. So there's something to be said for that.
And we've done this. Our first record, we first started in 2011. And we've been doing this now for 6 years, and a lot of bands in that time don't.
This is actually the first one.
Yes, that was the first one we released on. We made a demo album before that called the Cindy Bannon Sessions, but that never got released on disc. So this is the first album. This is called Generator, and that's a giant pod on the Asbury Park Boardwalk. We were shooting band photos, and our shadows reflected upon it. We were like, "Oh,
those are
like
actually ghosts."
Yes, and then everybody thinks it looks like Russian propaganda, and maybe we were just predicting everything that would happen.
My shadow has a big
future.
red line in the middle of it.
I see that.
Yeah. It's still my favorite album cover we did because it was so spur of the moment. It just kind of happened.
Funny, that tends to happen when you're involved in the arts or
it does. Sometimes
you can plan and do this and do that, and then something just kind of happens, and you get a different take or perspective on things.
Well, like this album cover, the one for Lucid Garden, the new EP, we were at the studio. We recorded in Philadelphia at Retro City Studios in Philadelphia with our good friend Barry Knob producing. And Andrew went walking outside, and lo and behold, in the Germantown section of Philadelphia, where you would not find many strawberries growing, he just saw a crushed strawberry on the sidewalk, snapped a photo, and we're like, well, that's the album cover.
What's funny is he went to, where was it?
France,
a couple months later, he found a very similar, scene, and he took basically the same photo.
Maybe it's a
metaphor. So that's why the strawberries on
the strawberry. He found a crushed strawberry. It was only one, and it was sitting there on this sidewalk. And
this looks like it fell out of somebody's grocery bag.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the part of Philadelphia it's in, you would not think any fruit grows there. It's like this older section that has a lot of.
Well,
maybe it wanted to be crushed.
It wanted to be crushed.
You think so?
Yes.
Maybe. It was just saying this should be the Clydes album cover. So we said, Mr. Crushed Strawberry, we'll make you the album cover.
Wow. That's not bad. It's good, though.
So, and then we like the title of the EP, which is also the first song on the EP. It's called Lucid Garden. So we put a strawberry garden.
I get it.
Art.
That's right.
Yeah.
Art. That's what we call it, art. Now, last night on Rock on Radio, you debuted a couple of tunes.
Yeah, this is like a stop gag holdover EP of 4 songs we made in Philadelphia. And then in the fall, in October, we have a full-length album called So the Story Goes coming out on Min 400 Records, our second record of Min 400. Neil Sabatino, the label owner, produced that. And what you played last night was a brand new single, the first single called Holly Speaks, which we're going to play later on this show.
And we have a video coming out.
We've shot a video for it.
Okay. Where'd you shoot that?
In East Brunswick at Brian's house.
My house.
There's also like a cemetery. There's various shots.
Okay. We had some people from the local scene in it.
Including Brittany Dixon, who
Brittany
used
on
to run the
Fire.
Court Tavern.
Yeah, she used to run the Court Tavern. She's the lead. Our friend John plays the other lead.
John Landy, great man.
And so we have a video coming out, a single, and 10 songs coming out on that album. We're really excited for that album.
Now I asked you fellas this last night at the end of the program, and I was hoping to pick it up where we left off tonight, or last night tonight. What is the goal of the Clydes? I mean, what is it you want to do? Do you want to tour the world? Do you want to just be locally successful? Do you want licensing agreements? What do the Clydes want to do?
Yeah, I've always said we want our music to be heard by as many people as possible. Now, how realistic is that in, the current rock scene? We don't know. I don't think anyone knows the answer to that, but we want as many people as possible to listen to our music.
But we would not say no to touring the world.
Of course.
So if anybody wants to book us in Singapore or something like that, we're happy to do it. Do they book rock in Singapore? I don't know. I don't know. But
come on now.
But you mentioned licensing. That's something that our label talks about. That's a new way a lot of bands are getting their music heard and paid for. Is licensing. You always want to be seen if you can get on television or in video games.
Sure,
or
all these movie gigs and TV shows.
Absolutely. So that's one thing we definitely are looking to do.
They don't want to pay
album.
Beyonce $20 million. Yeah. They'd rather pay you guys $500 and say, yeah, you're going to be in a movie.
But yeah, we'd like to. We've played all throughout New York. We've played Philadelphia. We're about to play Baltimore in 2 weeks. September 16th, we're playing Baltimore with another band on Min 400 named Underlined Passages. Really good band.
Oh, yeah, where at?
They're from Baltimore. I'm not sure of the venue yet. We have to figure out it's their record release show, Underlined Passages.
Camden
really
Yards.
Good. Yeah, I wish.
Exactly.
But so we're open to playing, and we just went to Nashville 2 weeks ago, not to play, but to kind of scout and see what was there.
A lot of great musicians.
Yeah, so we are definitely looking to expand the music. Our favorite place in the world is England. Brian and I would love to live in Liverpool one day. Not just because the Beatles are there, because it's a wonderful town.
He didn't run this by me yet.
No.
I think he's going to kidnap me.
But, who knows? Pipe dreams. But, our goal is we write songs, and we never stop writing songs. We write songs all the time, so there will be more music, and we hope more people will hear it.
Is Lindsay watching this?
I'm sure. I don't know. She's setting up her classroom. So
Lindsay. Apparently, that's right, Lindsay. You just found out that they're going to live in Liverpool.
She'll come with us.
It's all his idea.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's what we were looking for.
I'm sure she'll love that.
Now all of us are living together. This is very strange.
Just flat off of
right,
what is that street that the Beatles started on?
Matthew Street.
Matthew Street.
Yeah.
Liverpool's great. Everybody go to Liverpool. It's a wonderful. I feel like New Brunswick and Liverpool right there.
And Carteret.
Carteret. They have a pond. Brian loves the pond in Carteret.
And Carteret?
Smithereens are from Carteret.
Carteret? Scotch Plains.
Scotch Plains. Well, Pat Denizio's from Scotch Plains. Right. The other three guys went to Carteret.
Carteret. Okay.
Great area.
He knows a lot about the Smithereen.
Sure. Good band.
Yeah, well, former OneMore with Danny Coleman guest.
Really?
That's Rick Winnow is Denizio's right-hand man when he does his solo stuff. And
nice.
Guitarist Rick's a buddy of mine. Him and I gig together every now and then, or as often as we can. And
nice.
He's got to be one of the busiest mans I've ever met. How often do you guys gig?
Oh, we play at least once a month, but
a couple times usually.
Yeah, a couple times a month. We do at least 20 to 30 shows a year.
Okay, he does. You ready for this? In November of this past year, he already had 172 bookings for 2017.
Wow. That's much more.
The man works like 6-7 days a week, sometimes 2 a day. So yeah, now he plays with Pat. He kind of has to forego some of his other stuff, but
people who make music is fun. It's the number one thing, and we like to do as much of it as possible. When you can find a way to make that and do that,
I also kind of believe in like the 10,000 hour rule, where before you can say you're really great at something, you have to play 10,000 hours. So he thought I was a little nerdy about it, but like last year I played 1,000 a year just to do it. I actually count it, and a lot of the songs actually came out of it. I wrote all those songs with him in that time frame.
So how do you guys write your tunes?
Generally speaking, we do it together. Who starts it depends on the song. Honestly speaking, sometimes he'll hear me play something, he'll come in and we'll write it together. And a lot of times it happens the opposite, where I hear a couple cool chords that he's playing or a nice melody, and then I'll come and add a chorus. And
we noticed a lot of the songs on the new album coming up in October started with Brian will play a riff or a chord progression, show it to me, I'll start singing, and then we'll add a chorus together. A lot of songs started with Brian's music. I sang a melody and a chorus, and I wrote the lyrics, and suddenly you have 10 songs. Yeah, and we bring it to the band, and they say, do this, arrange this, we'll play the bass like this, drums like this, add keyboards. So it's a collaborative effort in the end.
Excellent. And what is your websites?
TheClydesMusic.com. That's our main website. And if you go to Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, type in the Clydes. We are the Clydes from New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Don't
the
say
rock
it.
band. No, I'm not going to say
Don't say it. I'm going to cover it up.
We don't play bluegrass. No. So the ClydesMusic.com. You can get to all those sites if you go to the ClydesMusic.com.
Like 10 years from now, I'm going to be at some like farmer's market and see you playing bluegrass.
Yeah, I know. It'd be like Blue Moon in Kentucky. Keep on shining.
That's funny.
Mandolin's hard, so I don't know.
I actually did.
It's like I can play mandolin.
I did a few gigs with a mandolin player, really, really good mandolin player. Guy named Glenn. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on Glenn's last name.
I thought I was gonna have like a sweet nickname like Nighthawk.
No.
Well, we call him Nighthawk, and I'm the Jackal. So.
Is that why?
Yeah, well, no, it's just we're driving, and he'll be like, "I'll do directions. I'm the Nighthawk." Swear to God, it's a true story.
I prefer Spirit.
I've been called the Jackal since college because our good friend Dave Gurney, who
probably is listening.
Probably is listening
and watching. Yeah,
lives in Red Bank. He.
How come he's not here?
I know.
Dave,
our good friend Dave Gurney. He would always call me the Jackal, and no one really knows why, and that's part of the allure. You know.
That's how I met Lindsay.
Yeah, you don't mess with the Jackal or Nighthawk.
Why?
Because they'll team up on you.
I get that.
And Nighthawk. I don't know how we will team up on you, but apparently it will happen.
And that's how we keep referring to Lindsay because Brent here got engaged on Friday. Right?
Yes, we did.
To Lindsay.
A
very nice young lady.
Lovely woman.
We played her a song right before we did it.
Yeah. We played music right before it happened.
Oh, yeah.
And she was there. She thought she was at a video shoot.
Nice.
But it wasn't.
But it changed the lyrics?
I don't know how she didn't figure it out, though, because we go to the Keyport Fishery, where is that, the marina there? Whatever it is?
It's like the waterfront.
The waterfront, and, there's a fishing tournament going on. So why would it be shooting a video when there's a fishing tournament? Fishermen are a big fan base. It's true.
Yeah, don't discount the fishermen.
Yeah, don't never discount the
Because
fishermen.
if you're a member of the Clydes and you guys play their music, they'll be hooked.
No.
You slay me. Okay.
Good.
There you go, Nash, the glue that holds this program together.
The assist.
See, I could worry about. I don't even have to worry about Nash.
He's up there. You can tell.
See, normally I can see him, but even though his back is behind my back, I don't have to worry about anything being stabbed. I'm choking myself.
I know. It's hilarious.
I'm cracking myself up. Call me Killer. I slay me.
Killer, the Jackal, and Nighthawk. If that is not a heavy metal band right there, I don't know what is.
You, right?
Iron Maiden covers.
I could give myself a reverse mohawk.
That's the name of the first single, Reverse Mohawk. It's printed.
That's right. See, now your drummer has a good heavy metal.
Yeah,
name.
Mad Mardigan, and he also, as we said last night, he wears a headband like young John McEnroe.
But I think
John Bjork.
It's just because he sweats a lot.
Yeah, I think it is because he sweats a lot. But like like in tennis, like sometimes that was like a hipster thing. He does it because he just rocks it because he doesn't care, like in a good way.
Something to be said for that.
I know.
Yes.
He just goes for it.
Too many people care about what other people think.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
And sometimes being an artiste or a musician, you really can't care.
Yeah, Brian doesn't.
You have to you have to be able to put whatever it is out there that you want. You have to have a thick skin. We know that.
No,
you have to have a thick skin.
But if you really rock and are good, it doesn't matter in the end. Because if you like what you like.
But what you're losing sight of there with that statement, I think, is life is all perception.
Yeah.
What the heck was that movie? Was it Crash? Where there was a car accident and there were 4 different people witnessed it, and 4 different people had different accounts of the accident.
So maybe some people think you suck, but you think you're good. Is what you're saying.
You're not going to make everybody happy.
No.
You know what? You could. I mean, you mentioned him last night on our show. We'll throw it out there right now. Bruce Springsteen. I don't know anybody who ever looks at me and has ever looked at me and said, "Yeah, Bruce is okay." It's either I can't stand him or oh man, I love him. There's no in between.
Polarizing.
And you're gonna get that as a musician. Not everybody's gonna like your tunes.
Yeah. But you do, and if you don't like your tunes, meaning like,
of course you have to. Right.
Because you have to believe in what you do, and we believe in what we do. So
we legit think we're really good.
Yeah. So.
Well, and you guys are really good.
Well, we were looking for a compliment, but
I wasn't. I was just stating it.
But the point is, if you really believe in what you do, that's a big first step because you can't just rely on what other people say.
No, well,
Yeah.
and I want to get to that in 1 second. As soon as I talk about the pastries that are not here, Nash.
Yeah.
I know we're disappointed
Pizza
tonight.
pastries.
Antoinette Boulangerie specializes in creating delicate and sophisticated works of art using only the highest quality ingredients. Located at 32 Monmouth Street, right here in the heart of Red Bank, they're a fully operational bakery with all of their baking done on premises daily. In addition to a handmade variety of croissants and Danish, Antoinette's offers a dizzying array of traditional French pastries, macaroons, cookies, and savory treats. You can find them at Antoinette'sBoulangerie.com or AntoinetteBoulangerie.com.
Sounds lovely.
2 points for saying croissant, by the way.
Croissant.
Croissants.
That's right. It's French.
I know.
I had my good friend on here one night, Estelle Massery, local photographer from Cuckoo Photography, and she was talking all about photography, and but she's from Lyon, France.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, you got to read this ad. She's, no. So that failed miserably. But hey, you know what? You got to try.
Yep.
Can't. What did Wayne Gretzky say? You can't score if you don't shoot.
That's true, and he did a lot of that. I mean,
See?
scoring, he
Correct.
didn't ever not shoot.
Yeah, that's right. He tried.
He was very good.
With the ladies, too.
Yeah, I guess,
Come on now.
Hey, speaking of trying and marketing the band, I'm a firm believer that you need to go outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, you're from New Brunswick, but yet you've gone to Philly.
Yeah,
You've gone
New
to
York.
New York City. So you've gone out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you come back without anybody throwing anything at you, and you can check people, through the lighting, and you see them grooving on or digging what you're doing, that's a success.
Yeah.
Because you stay around here, New Brunswick, Asbury Park, all the local, places, you're always going to have family and friends and some of the local crowd come out and say, oh, you guys are great. But how do you know you're great until you test the water?
Absolutely.
Some of our favorite shows were at the Bitter End in New York.
Yeah, we mentioned that
Grape
last
Room
night.
in Philly.
Bitter End, yeah, Grape Room in Philly does great.
And they've built in crowds, which is great. Sometimes you
The
got
Bitter End is one of those places where every band should try and play there. It's a wonderful venue.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite venue in New York.
Yeah, great venue.
The Bitter End.
Lit
It was an
Lounge was
honor
good
to play
too.
there. Lit Lounge in Manhattan was a good one. Yeah. A lot of always try and book places where you don't know if you'll be able to try and get people to come there, and also you learn a lot from just playing to a few people.
Right.
And you can test out new songs. You can see what works, what doesn't work. The band. You just have to keep growing if you're a band. We see too many bands give up after 1 or 2 years, and we've been doing this for 6 because we want to keep playing. We want to keep plugging along. I'm privileged to be able to make music, and you just really have to keep trying, keep experimenting.
I thank the both of you incredibly, literally from the bottom of my heart, for all the pre-show advertising that you've done about your appearances last
Absolutely.
night, tonight, because most times bands don't do that anymore. They feel they can put one blurb out on Facebook either the day of or 3 days before, and then that's good. And you can see it if you go to this show. And I'm not talking about you at home there, Long Branch cable people, but if you go to our OneMore with Danny Coleman page on Facebook or Carousel Arts page and you see our things, you see the bands that promote and the bands that don't.
Well, it's an honor to be.
You
I
know?
mean, we really, to be able to talk music and not just promote your music, but also talk about it in a fun, creative way. We appreciate what you're doing because not as many people write or talk about local music in New Jersey, and we're happy for the ones that do. There is a great number of people who write and talk about music in New Jersey, and New Jersey's lucky because not a lot of other states have that. New Jersey is a music state. It really is. You see how many famous musicians and actors come from New Jersey. It's a creative state. You're sandwiched between Philly and New York, and so we're happy. We're very honored to be here.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. But I am very happy that you guys marketed your appearance
our
here,
pleasure.
which is something that a lot of bands don't do, not just here, but anywhere.
Yeah, we see a lot of people think that sometimes they're too cool to do it also, and we see that a lot of times before they even, have played 5 shows, so.
No one's too cool.
Yeah.
Have you ever done
Maybe Prince.
Have you guys ever done Have you ever done a gig with another band where you just wanted to smack the living daylights out of the other band?
Yeah, we won't mention names, of course, but no, he tends to like a lot more of the local bands. Not even local, like when we go to Philly or something, than I'll usually see a band and I'll just be like, yeah, that they just rub me the wrong way.
But you
Happens
do
a
have
lot.
to make friends. That's the number one
he's
thing in
good at
any
that.
job. You have to
Well,
network. You got to make
networking
friends.
is huge, sure.
But yeah, I mean, there's always people you're not going to like in any profession.
Right.
And at the same
But,
time, we play with a lot of people who we love. So it's
Yeah, a
not-
lot of other bands who make you want to make better music because
Yeah.
they're just good, and you're like, we got to get better.
Well, and that's great.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've emceed events at like the Stone Pony for various charities and things, and I can remember there were 10 bands one day, and there were, out of the 10 bands, 3 of them had heads that wouldn't fit in this room, and they were cover bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna come on, you know what I mean. I watched Tommy, the sound guy at the Pony. I don't know how he made it from the soundboard to the stage. He must have like levitated and it took 2 seconds because he asked some young kid, an 18-year-old kid playing guitar. Not that I have anything against 18-year-old kids, but this kid thought he was the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I heard it over the stage monitor. You need to turn down your guitar at the amplifier. Turn down. The kid just
didn't do it?
totally ignored him. Then he walked over and turned the amp the old half a turn,
Down,
you know.
yeah.
So instead of being on 12, he was on 11 and a half, right? And he's like, you need to turn this thing down. And the kid just kind of laughed at him. That was it. Next thing I knew, the kid's up there trying to play these power chords for a sound check, and there's nothing coming out. And you see the sound guy with his guitar cord in the hand, and he comes up to me and goes, next time you'll do as I say, or I'll throw you right out of here.
We've actually played with bands who showed up later than they were supposed to, just so they can get. They didn't like what time they were on, so they showed up.
I wouldn't see now if that was me.
Yeah.
Then sorry guys, you missed your slot. See ya.
Which happened, yeah.
You know, I would throw them out. I don't get it. There was other cover bands. The one I was running the stage that day, and I'm, you know what, fellas, help me out. You've got like 2 minutes. We'll go on when we're ready. No, I don't think so. You'll either go on in 2 minutes or I'm pulling the plug.
Yeah, these things are not that hard, yeah.
You know, I'm trying to. This is charity, so it drives me nuts when I see bands like that don't appreciate, or they think that they are. You know, and they opened up with "Living on a Prayer," and I'm like, and they did it well, but you know what? You didn't write that. You know, you're strutting around like you're Bon Jovi, and you're not Bon Jovi. So he actually made it.
That's true.
So it's very important, I think, for bands to not only test the waters of other areas, but to network and realize that, and I always think of a scene from the first Indiana Jones movie, or not the first one, the third one, where he was going after the Holy Grail, and he had to read the clues from that, and only a penitent man will pass, and he kind of bowed down on one knee. You almost have to get down on one knee and appreciate the people who came before you, you know, because sadly there are no venues left for original music.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of us, myself included, that kind of, you know, we blazed that trail back in the 60s and early 70s or mid 70s, and now there's nothing for guys like you.
And you learn if you don't bend down and be penitent, then a giant razor blade will come and cut your head off.
Cut your head off, that's
So
right.
look out, kids.
Correct.
It's like my 17th birthday.
Yes. A giant razor blade, cut your head off. I remember. It was all in the rage in the news. But, and then, you know, if you're fortunate enough to be able to play your own music, you know, embrace that. And shameless self-promotion, man. Get yourselves out there.
Yeah.
Tell
The
everybody.
ClydesMusic.com.
That's right.
Well, the thing we
Not the ones from Nashville.
bluegrass.
That's right.
The thing we also like about, you know, and we talked about it yesterday, is that, you know, there's also tools now where you can record as many songs as you want. And I think that's, you know, we have a lot of songs. We put a lot on record, you know, and we're proud of that, you know. And if this was 1984, we might not have had that luxury. So
Scott Stamper at the Saint.
we love him. He's awesome. Yeah.
Said something during one of the Asbury Music Awards presentations, which, gosh, it's that time of year again. They'll be coming out in the end of November,
Yeah.
the Music Award nominees. He said something at one of the Music Award shows, and it simply said was, these people up here, any one of them could be writing the cover tunes of tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, Which, on one hand, I totally get it. He's right, because any one of you, the talent pool that stretches from New Brunswick to Keyport to Asbury Park and south is just...
A lot of good musicians. Yeah.
It's so deep.
Yeah.
You know, you may find that giant octopi at the bottom
There
of
it
that
is.
level.
We're predicting the future.
Correct. And you never know. I mean, who the next... Like you said, New Jersey's a very artistic state. You know, people call it the armpit of the nation.
Yeah, they're wrong.
And all they think of... I went to Ireland one time for 15 days, I'm told. And and there was a bus driver. We rented a van with a driver because there was 13 of us that went. And, you know, we got like a 20-passenger bus. And he said to the woman... one of the women that we were with, you sound like the woman from The Sopranos, the Irish guy. You know? Yeah, she says, where are you from? Well, we're from Hamilton, New Jersey. And he says, where's that? Is that what exit's that off of? And they're like 7-8. There's actually trees by us. Because all he thought of New Jersey was this opening scene of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, you know, there's so much more to the state that people just don't get.
We were kind of scared of the Pine Barrens for a while.
Yeah.
As you should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you should be. Actually, the very first episode of one of my favorite television shows, The X-Files,
Mm-hmm.
the very first episode opened with them driving through the Pine Barrens of New Jersey because they wanted to hear about the mythical Jersey Devil
The Leeds Devil.
as compared to the Chupacabra down in, you know. And so, yeah, that's... Mrs. Leeds' 13th child, the Jersey Devil. You know, people don't know that
We have a
stuff.
professor from Rutgers who we had who thoroughly believes in the Jersey Devil.
So we
That's
do
a
too.
real thing, yeah. So
Maybe the
anything
next
he
album
says,
will
I
be the
believe.
Jersey
it.
Devil
You
is
know,
real.
there's
That's how college
folklore, there's, you know, is there Bigfoot? I mean, you know, we could go on and on and on and on about that. You know, for everybody who says, no, it's a hoax, okay, prove it's a hoax. Well, okay, prove he's real. I can't. But I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Until he stands over your bed.
Right? Correct.
Then you gotta know.
You're
it's real.
done.
Yeah.
I used to drive when I used to do my radio show down to Lenoka Harbor, and I would drive home through the pines every Sunday night, and the show was on from 10 to 12. By the time we broke the equipment down and I helped the guy out, I wasn't driving home till 1:30 in the morning. I was getting home at 3 in the morning, you know. And tell you what, the pines are a very unique place
Yeah.
at that time in the morning. So,
Nowhere to eat.
but yeah, nowhere. Well, true. Depends on where you go, though. If you go like through Shamong, there's always a piccalilli.
Is that a real town?
Shamong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ong's Hat is a town there, right? It has like 3 people.
What's it called?
Ong's Hat.
Never heard of
It's
it.
true. Look it up.
That's like Ho Hocus. It's true. Look it up because I saw it on the net. So what's next for you guys? What are we doing besides Rock New Brunswick?
Rock New
and
Brunswick,
the gig in Baltimore.
Yeah,
you don't
we're
know where it
really,
is.
Baltimore.
we're really excited about this new album.
The new
coming out
album,
on
So
Okay.
the Story
400.
Goes,
When's it
on
due?
Min 400 Records. End of October, it'll be out.
Yeah, we feel it's some of the best stuff we've ever put down to record.
So look out for it. So Rock New Brunswick next weekend, then Baltimore the 16th with Underlying Passages, and then a new album on Min 400 Records.
Yeah, that
October.
memorized.
It's 3 straight.
Yep, the ClydesMusic.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
Not the bluegrass guy.
Oh, man.
Who does the artwork?
Someone else has done. Different people have done the artwork for every album. My friend Bill Bodkin did Generator. Ted Musho did the painting of the octopus. And Neil Sabatino, our producer and record label owner, did that record and
then
did the artwork.
Andrew's
for it.
picture
And
on
then
the
Andrew, our bassist, took the picture of the strawberry on Lucid Garden, the new EP.
That's so
We like to think all our albums could be posters too, which we like.
Yeah,
So
artwork's
it's
very
cool.
and just we look at liner notes and covers as artwork. Music is a piece of art, so that's one thing we like about still making records and
Sometimes we
CDs.
go into Vintage Vinyl and Woodridge and we just look at the awesome album covers.
Yeah,
of
album covers are
the
great.
80s. Like there's one with David Lee Roth climbing a mountain. It's great.
Yeah, don't stop me.
I bought it.
Are they
just off
still
that.
having shows there?
Yeah,
we saw-
What
we
which
saw
are
them.
Fords? Which one are you?
Fords,
in? Fords,
yeah.
right.
We saw
Great.
Fastball there a couple months ago. They were great.
Great place, Vintage Vinyl. We spent a lot of money and a
it's-
lot of hours
And
there.
it's huge.
Yeah,
we
oh
love
my
it.
gosh. I didn't even know that them stores were still open until
Yeah.
I was asked to cover a show there.
Princeton
Yeah.
Record Exchange still there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Princeton. I know
Yeah.
that. So was a record collector in Bordentown
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. Randy Now's Man Cave.
Yeah, important.
Yeah, I mean, both of those stores are 5 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but Vintage Vinyl's our favorite easily.
Oh, it's their
Yeah,
inventory.
agreed. Yeah.
yeah,
Their inventory is massive.
yeah.
And Plus, they have that little stage. It's great for acoustic shows.
And we have stickers all over the place there for the Clyde. So
do you?
They're very nice touch. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep your eyes peeled.
I will. I've only been there twice. I have to go back and look for the Clydes. What is it you think that keeps you guys in this?
Oh, love of music. I mean, we own 2,000 albums between us. Just it's all we've ever wanted to do. There's something intrinsic about music that just it's unlike anything else, and we just like making it. And I couldn't imagine a life without making music, so we keep doing it because we want.
I also think it's a bit of an obsession in a way, where like if I hear a riff I play or something he plays, and it just plays in my head over and over again, I legit cannot get it out unless I finish that song.
Right.
And it's like I think Prince talked about it, when he was still alive, that, he was at another level than, most musicians, obviously. But he said it was almost a gift and a curse at the same time for him, because he had so many songs in his head at all times that, he literally could not go on with his day without recording it. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was a unique individual. You said he was an influence of yours.
Oh, yeah, maybe
Brian
it's one of my
loves
top three. Him and the Smiths were,
The Smiths, and who else?
Roxy Music, Elvis Costello,
obviously the Beatles,
Billy Joel, the Beatles, Nutrimilk Hotel, Radiohead.
Well, you
Wilco.
told me last night that you grew up in a radio family. Your father was...
Yeah, my dad, our dad, worked in radio for years. He was the voice of Rutgers Sports on WCTC AM in New Brunswick. Was the program director of WCTC for years. So radio is the radio is always on in our household.
Even music we didn't like necessarily.
Yeah, but music, there's what's wonderful about music, there's only a few notes and a few chords. Unlike novels where you have unlimited amount of words, or film, unlimited amount of scenes and stories.
A lot of character development.
Yeah. Songs are made up of, now you can tell a lot of stories in the lyrics, but songs are made up of a few notes and a few chords, and to see how many songs you can get from that in the world, it's an amazing thing. Music is wonderful. Just absolutely wonderful. You don't need me to say that. But it's true.
People are relying on you to say that.
Once again, if you're just clicking in or clicking on at home, this is One More with Danny Coleman. I'm Danny Coleman. This is Brian and Brent of the New Brunswick-based band, the Clydes, and they are here because they're going to be playing the after party for Rock New Brunswick, the music festival that takes place from the 8th, which starts off with I guess it's a round table or a Q&A with some music industry people, one of which was here a couple weeks ago, Sharif Hobley. He'll be on that panel. And that's the 8th, and the 9th and the 10th is when the music takes over.
And we played 10 o'clock, like the 10 o'clock hour.
At the Scarlet Pub.
Scarlet Pub, September 10th on Easton Avenue in New Brunswick.
In New Brunswick.
Yep.
So check that out and check these guys out. Now I forgot where I was going to go with that. I introduced the show, and I forgot where I was going to go. The thought train has been derailed. There's a lot of derailments of the thought train, as you know.
It happens.
So, when you guys gig, do you have a favorite memory or a favorite gig, that something that stands out? Could be good or bad.
The Stone Pony was special.
Yeah, we played the Stone Pony twice. The first time we played the Stone Pony was like 2 days before Hurricane Sandy hit. And it's just the idea of we didn't know what was going to happen to the city, and to be able to play there and just to be on that stage where so many other great artists have played, there's something magical about that.
There was also a show at the Core Tavern where Andrew proposed to his wife.
Yeah.
And that was special. She had no idea what was going on. Also, I don't think anyone has ever proposed at the Core Tavern before.
Yeah, maybe the only time. There's a lot of great gigs. It's a pleasure, and we're fortunate to be able to keep playing.
You know, that same gig where I told you those two bands got on my nerves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the headliner that day at the at the show, excuse me, was a fellow by the name of Gary Hoey. Gary Hoey's blues guitarist. He was Lita Ford's producer.
Mm-hmm.
Gary's super nice guy. He said to me when he came in, because he had called my radio show and I talked with him a little bit. He says, "You're a drummer, right?" He says, I said, "Yeah." He says, "Find us a bass player. And at the end of the night, we'll jam a couple tunes." I'm like, pinch me. Did this really just happen,
Mm-hmm.
So the kid from the cover band that said, "We'll go on when we're ready," their bass player happened to be hanging out. And I looked at him, And I said, dude, you know who Gary Hoey is? Yeah. I said, do you want to play a couple tunes with him at the end of the show? Yeah, right. And he turned around and ignored me like I was full of baloney. He started talking to somebody else. I said, I'm going to ask you one more time, kid. Do you want to jam with Gary Hoey or not? He says, yeah, right. Like Gary Hoey's going to want to jam with us. And I said, here he is. Why don't you ask him? His jaw like hit the floor. He's like, yeah. I said, oh, it's not such a big deal now, is it? He was coming off all cocky and arrogant until he actually saw, and we wound up, I don't even know what the kid's name was, but myself and him, and myself and Gary and this kid and a guy by the name of Jan Close, we jammed a couple blues tunes at the end of the night with Gary Hoey.
Nice.
It was like, a pinch me moment for me. But I've been lucky that way. Thanks to my friend Eric Miller, I've been able to jam with some really Ed Roland of Collective Soul. I've done a couple Collective Soul tunes with Gary U.S. Bonds. I was in a house band with the guys from Living Color. I mean, it was just like, but music does that. It brings you all together. And what I'm going to do right now, though, is I'm going to go over here and talk about Monmouth music. And you guys are going to set up, and you're going to play some music for us here tonight. So we're going to play some stuff from the Clydes right here on One More with Danny Coleman. I'm going to come over here and see Nash. Nash, I missed you, man. I couldn't just look up and say hello. I know. I'm telling you, you're the glue, and I was like coming apart at the seams at times. Established in 1987, Monmouth Music is located right here in the center of historic Red Bank, New Jersey, which was recently voted the third best town in the United States by Smithsonian Magazine. Located within walking distance of the famed Count Basie Theater, Red Bank train station, and many of this town's fine eateries, Monmouth Music continues the tradition of being a destination store for musicians of all levels, from beginner through professional. The new owner, Mario Di Bartolo, a lifelong musician himself, offers a wide selection of brand-name instruments at everyday low prices, both new and used, and with personal and professional service from a family-owned and operated store. Does the neck on your guitar or banjo need fixing, guys? Do you own a banjo? Oh, wait, you're not the bluegrass band. That's right. Or how about the valves on your sax? Do they need to be refitted? Regardless of what day it is, bring your instrument to Monmouth Music for quality repairs. You'll enjoy prompt service from a team of repairmen who are always available. And right now, I'm going to put this microphone down, and you guys are going to hear some really good stuff. These guys are fantastic. The Clydes.
Holly speaks, and her nails like footprints on the rails. Watching game shows in bed like a book she'll never read. What to know, save your soul, keep it harder as you go. What to know, save your soul, keep it harder as you go. And if I had to run, I'd glide by everyone. My heart would come undone if only I'd be gone. Holly waits for her train like it's never gonna rain. Watching game shows at night like a book I'll never write. What to know, save your soul, keep it harder as you go. What to know, save your soul, keep it harder as you go. And if I had to run, I'd glide by everyone. My heart would come undone if only I'd be gone. You never wanted so bad. You never wanted so bad. What to know, save your soul, keep it harder as you go. What to know, save your soul, keep it harder as you go. What to know, save your soul, keep it harder as you go.
All right, that's going to be the first single off the new album coming out in October. I'm in 400 Records. That song was called Holly Speaks, and this is another song that's going to be on that album.
All you need is a magazine to complicate your mind. You're joking all the time and you can't see. Every day I would grab my tongue and staple to the floor. I'm closing off the shore, better me. And everybody knows the jester has no clothes. He's sleeping on another chance to say, and everyone will see there are no mysteries. He's choking on the sand he used to spray, and tripping on another rainy day. Maybe you'll get a little bit of sleeping on the ground. Your fame is falling down and you can't see. Go ahead and turn your neck, I'll smack you on the chin. I won't do that again, this isn't me. And everybody knows the jester has no clothes. He's slipping on another chance to say, and everyone will see there are no mysteries. He's choking on the sand he used to spray, and tripping on another rainy day. Almost here, all the veins are getting clear. Let's gather now to pray. It's just another holy day. Holy day. Holy day.
Thanks. Again, so those two songs are going to be on our album coming out in October, called "So the Story Goes." I'm in 400 Records, and we're going to close out with a song from our first EP called "Generator." This song is called "Marigold."
Marigold, through the summer, through the rain. Marigold will always be there, despite the strain. And all tomorrow's parties turning every single other girl away. And other girls, they will flutter and they will fly, but every single other girl, they will wither and they will die. And all tomorrow's parties singing far too loud to ever fade. And I feel you all the time, all the time. And I feel you all the time. Come back again. Marigold, through the summer, through the rain. My marigold will always be there, just the same. And all tomorrow's parties, they'll be waiting, and I feel you all the time, all the time. And I feel you all the time. Come back again. Come back again. My marigold, come back again. Thank you.
Coleman. Thank you, fellas.
Thank you.
Thank you for putting up with me for 2 nights in a row. Huh? You guys?
We're happy to be here.
I'm glad that you guys did. Again, websites?
TheClydesMusic.com. Go to Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, The Clydes from New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay, there you
from
go.
the rafters.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
right. Shameless self-promotion.
And listen to Danny and watch him. He's good.
Thank you, sir, very much. We appreciate that. Next week, there will be no more OneMore with Danny Coleman as we take off to celebrate the Labor Day holiday. I'm moving my daughter back into college, so on and so forth. And then we'll be back with the full lineup in September. So Rock New Brunswick will be over with by that time. So that's kind of, you guys are kind of like my last Macon artist, you know?
Well, thanks to Bob for recommending us, and come see us and other bands at Rock New Brunswick.
Rock New Brunswick coming up, that's right. And at the top of the show, I said that this was dedicated to a couple of musicians, Santa Ray being one of them, who was a staple down here, and a fan of this show and a fan of Rock on Radio. For most of the 8.5 years Rock on Radio has been on the air, my Christmas parties are not going to be the same. That is for sure. He was Santa. Kind of guy Santa was. I had mentioned to him that I had a couple of nephews, he said, well, he said, I got a gig up in Staten Island, a Santa gig. And I said, well, if you can make it, you can make it. He showed up an hour earlier than everybody else, just so my 2 young nephews could sit on his knee. And he made sure that they had a little matchbox or something with them. And he didn't have to do that, but that's just the way Santa Ray was. So this show and the last couple shows are dedicated to Santa Ray. There's a celebration of his life with a whole bunch of musicians, which is what he wanted. September 1st at the Colts Neck Inn, located at routes 537 and 34 in Colts Neck, New Jersey, beginning at 4 p.m. And it'd be nice to see people turn out and say hello, because I'm sure it's going to be a mob scene, without a doubt. And also the passing of Jody Gambaluca, a local guy from Trenton. I did not know Jody. Jody was in with Frank Stallone and Valentine. What was that tune? Take Me Back?
Yep.
Do from one of the Rocky movies, right? Rocky 2. He passed away suddenly over the weekend, too. So our condolences go out to both of their families and everybody here at OneMore. So until September 11th, actually, we will be back on September 11th. Why don't you stop on by and have one more? Good night.